My friends, if you remember only one principle from this entire journey, let it be this. No man ever becomes truly successful without a definite chief aim. You may possess intelligence, talent, ambition, or even opportunity, but without a clearly defined purpose, you are like a ship without a rudder adrift, vulnerable and ultimately lost. Success begins with a decision to stop wandering aimlessly through life, to stop reacting to circumstances, and instead declare, this is what I will achieve, this is who I will become. A definite chief aim is more than a goal. It's more than a wish or a vague intention. It is a burning desire backed by unshakable belief. It is specific. It is personal. It is written in the deepest part of your soul and reinforced every day by the choices you make. I have interviewed hundreds of the most powerful men of business, politics, and industry, and I can tell you without hesitation, every one of them had a chief aim. They knew what they wanted, and they pursued it with unwavering focus. Andrew Carnegie, who inspired much of my life's work, told me plainly, the man who starts out to become rich must first believe that he will be rich, and he must have a definite plan for becoming rich. Let me ask you now, do you have a definite chief aim? Can you state your life's main objective in a single, clear sentence? Can you close your eyes and see it, feel it, believe in it with such intensity that it stirs your entire being into motion? Most people sadly cannot. They drift through life responding to whatever happens to them. One year they want a better job, the next they want to move to a new city. The year after that, they're chasing some new distraction. They have no anchor, no target, just wishes tossed around by circumstance. But you're not most people. If you're listening to this, something inside you is ready to change. Something in you recognizes that clarity is power, and you're ready to take hold of your life with both hands. To do that, you must identify your definite chief aim, your one great purpose. It should be something worthy of your full energy and devotion. It must be big enough to inspire you, clear enough to guide you, and personal enough to light a fire in your soul. This aim becomes the lens through which you make every decision. It brings focus to your energy, meaning to your work, and urgency to your time. It protects you from distractions, drains, and detours. It becomes your North Star. But here's the truth, and it may shock you. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they never decide what they want. They are paralyzed by too many choices, too many opinions, too many doubts. And in that fog of indecision, their potential dies quietly. But you can choose differently, right now. In the next part, I'll show you the exact steps to define your chief aim and engrave it into your mind so deeply that it becomes a living, breathing force within you. But first I ask you this, what do you really want? Answer that with honesty. Answer it with courage, because once your aim is clear, your life will never be the same. Now that you understand the critical importance of having a definite chief aim, let's roll up our sleeves and shape it, because clarity doesn't just show up, it's built on purpose. So how do you define your chief aim? How do you take all your swirling thoughts and mold them into something sharp enough to guide your life? You begin by asking one powerful question. What one thing do I desire above all else? Not 5 things, not a laundry list, just one. One clear, commanding goal that earns your full focus and deserves your energy. Maybe it's to launch a business, to become financially independent, to write a book, or impact lives in your community. Whatever it is, it must be specific, deeply personal, and emotionally charged. Let me be clear saying, I want to be successful is not a chief aim. That's a vague wish, and vague wishes get vague results. But saying, I will build a digital publishing company earning $100,000 a year within 3 years, now that has structure, that has focus, that creates movement. So let's break this down into 5 clear steps. First, be specific. What exactly do you want? Not just a better life. What result are you after? If it's money, how much? If it's impact, in what area? Be precise. Second, give it a time frame. A goal without a deadline is like a race without a finish line. Create urgency by deciding when you'll reach it. Third, make it personal. This is your aim, not someone else's, not what your family expects, not what society applauds. It has to mean something to you deep down. Fourth, write it down. A chief aim not written is a chief aim not taken seriously. Put it in writing and place it where you'll see it every day, your bathroom mirror, your desk, your phone background. Fifth, say it in the present tense. Not I hope or I wish, but I am. I am the founder of a thriving design firm. Speaking your aim this way programs your subconscious to believe, and belief is the fuel of action. This statement becomes your personal declaration. Say it aloud every morning. Repeat it before bed. Let it sink into your subconscious so deeply that doubt has no room to grow. You might think this sounds a little strange, but every high achiever I've ever studied, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, they used this same technique. They didn't just set goals, they lived their goals. They saw them every day. They believed in them long before the world did, and that belief made all the difference. If you can't clearly state your aim, you cannot clearly build your future. So here's the challenge. Define it, get precise, get serious, and most of all, get emotionally invested. Because when your heart is in it, your mind finds a way every single time. Now that you've defined your chief aim with precision, it's time to ignite the engine that will drive it forward, burning desire. Without it, your goal is just ink on paper. With it, that same goal becomes a force of nature. Desire is the spark, but not casual interest, not lukewarm hope. I'm talking about a white-hot, unstoppable obsession with your objective, the kind of desire that wakes you up early, keeps you up late, and makes excuses irrelevant. Andrew Carnegie once told me, "Give me a man with a burning desire, and I'll show you a man who can bend reality to his will." He didn't say a man with perfect timing or a man with connections. No, he said desire, because nothing moves without it. Look around at the most successful people in any field, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators. They're not always the smartest in the room, but they are the most driven. They want it more, and that makes all the difference. So let me ask you, how badly do you want what you claim to want? If your answer is sort of, sometimes, or when it's convenient, then I'll tell you right now, you'll lose to the person who wants it with everything they've got. Your definite chief aim must not only be clear, it must burn within you. You must feel it. You must become emotionally fused to it. You must think about it in the shower, during your commute, before you go to sleep. Now here's the truth. This kind of desire doesn't always start strong. Sometimes it begins as a small flame, just a flicker of curiosity. But if you feed it daily, if you surround yourself with the right people and eliminate the distractions, it grows. It becomes hunger, then it becomes fire, then it becomes inevitable. And that's when the world starts moving for you. Your brain begins to notice opportunities it once ignored. Your energy increases. You stop procrastinating. You say no to things that used to tempt you because your yes is already spoken for. That's the magic of desire. It brings your life into alignment. But here's the warning. Desire fades when it's neglected. If you don't guard it, if you don't nurture it, the world will drown it in noise, in fear, in other people's opinions. That's why it's not enough to simply have desire. You must protect it, fuel it, reignite it every single day. Read your chief aim aloud with emotion. Visualize it. Speak as if it's already yours. Surround yourself with people and environments that reinforce your belief in it. And above all, act in alignment with that desire. Because desire without action, that's just daydreaming. But desire backed by daily movement, that's destiny on the way. So here's the challenge. Don't just know your chief aim, want it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. And when you want it that badly, when no excuse, no obstacle, and no opinion can stop you, then you're no longer chasing success. You're pulling it toward you. So far, you've defined your definite chief aim and lit the fire of burning desire. Now we turn to the next vital ingredient, alignment of the mind. Because let me tell you something plainly. You cannot move toward your goal with power if your thoughts are scattered, contradictory, or full of doubt. The mind must be trained, focused, disciplined, and tuned like a fine instrument if you want your aim to become reality. Let me ask, are your thoughts helping you or working against you? It's not enough to say, "I want success," and then walk around thinking, "I'm not good enough, it'll never work," or "people like me don't win." That's mental sabotage. That's like planting a seed in the soil and then pouring acid on it every morning. You can't out-hustle a mindset that's working against you. Here's a truth many ignore. Your dominant thoughts shape your reality. What you dwell on day after day, moment after moment, becomes your future. This isn't philosophy, it's psychology. Your mind filters the world based on what you expect to find. Think limitation, and you'll find it. Think opportunity, and suddenly doors begin to open. This is why your definite chief aim must not just live on paper, it must live in your mind. You must see it constantly, speak it constantly, feel it emotionally. Repetition is what reshapes the subconscious. And it's the subconscious that drives 90% of your decisions, actions, and habits. Now, this doesn't happen passively. You must create mental rituals that lock in your aim. Let me give you 3 right now. First, Visualize your aim every morning, not as a fantasy, but as a future certainty. See yourself living that reality, what it looks like, sounds like, feels like. The more vivid the image, the more deeply your mind accepts it as truth. Second, repeat your aim aloud with emotion. Say it like you mean it, not like a boring routine, but like a declaration. Conviction is the voltage that electrifies belief. Third, protect your mental environment. Be ruthless about what you allow in. Turn off the noise. Avoid negativity. Walk away from those who drain your energy or fill your mind with doubt. You cannot build a strong future with weak inputs. Let me remind you of something. The human brain is the most powerful mechanism ever created, but it doesn't run on autopilot. It runs on instruction. And if you don't program it deliberately, the world will program it for you. So start feeding your mind what it needs to win: inspiration, strategy, encouragement, mentorship, books, audios, people who lift you up and challenge you to grow. When your mind is fully aligned with your aim, when your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions are all moving in the same direction, you become unstoppable. It's no longer a question of if you'll succeed, but when. So check yourself today. Are your thoughts in harmony with your chief aim? If not, fix it. Rewire your thinking. Build mental discipline. Because the battle is won or lost long before the action begins. It's won right here, in the mind. Align your thoughts, and the world starts to align with you. Now that your mind is aligned with your definite chief aim, it's time to tackle one of the most underrated success tools you'll ever have: your time. Let me be blunt. If your time is out of control, your life is out of control. You can have a crystal clear goal, burning desire, and a positive mindset, but if you don't take charge of how you spend your minutes and hours, that goal will remain a fantasy. Time is the one resource you can never get back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can fail and recover. But once an hour is gone, it's gone forever. So ask yourself honestly, is the way I'm spending my time leading me toward my chief aim or away from it? Most people don't lose to laziness, they lose to distraction. They're busy, yes, but not focused. They answer every notification, say yes to every request. They confuse movement with progress. And as a result, their dream sits in the corner, untouched, while they spend their energy on someone else's agenda. But not you. If you're serious about your aim, then time must become sacred. Every day is a brick in the foundation of your vision. Every hour is a vote for or against your dream. So, how do you take possession of your time? Let me give it to you straight. First, schedule your goal into your life like it's a non-negotiable appointment. Don't just try to find time, make time. Put it on the calendar. Make it the first thing you protect, not the first thing you cancel. Second, identify your time vampires, those habits, people, and distractions that slowly drain your energy without giving anything back. Social media, scrolling, meaningless conversations, endless entertainment. These things seem harmless until you look up and realize a year has passed and nothing's changed. Third, create structured focus blocks where you work undisturbed on your chief aim. No multitasking, no checking messages, just pure, focused action in service of your purpose. Fourth, review your days and weeks. Ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to my aim? If you can't answer that clearly, something needs to change immediately. And fifth, yes, I said fifth, build systems to protect your time. Systems beat willpower every time. Automate, delegate, eliminate. Surround yourself with people who respect your time and your mission. If they don't belong in your circle right now. The truth is this: success doesn't require more time, it requires better use of the time you already have. Everyone gets 24 hours, but only the committed use those hours in service of a clear goal. Everyone says they're busy, but only the intentional are building something that lasts. So ask yourself, are you spending your time or investing it? Your definite chief aim deserves your best hours, not your leftovers. It deserves the morning energy, the fresh focus, the prime part of your day. Reclaim your time, and you reclaim your power. And once your time, mind, and purpose are working in unison, there's no force on earth that can stop your progress. By now, you've planted the seed of a clear chief aim, fueled it with burning desire, aligned your mind, and taken control of your time. But there's one more element that silently influences everything: your environment. You can have the strongest intentions, the boldest goals, but if you're surrounded by negativity, chaos, or distraction, it's like trying to grow a rose in concrete. The soil matters. Let me be direct. You are not just the product of your thoughts, you are the product of your surroundings. If the people around you scoff at ambition, guess what happens? You start shrinking yours. If your workspace is cluttered, disorganized, and filled with distractions, your results reflect that. If your home, your phone, even your conversations are filled with noise, you will drown in it. Your environment is not neutral. It's either pulling you forward or holding you back. So let me ask you plainly, does your current environment support your chief aim or sabotage it? Now don't panic. This doesn't mean you need to uproot your life or isolate yourself on a mountaintop. It means you become intentional, deliberate about shaping the world around you to match the world you're building inside you. Start with your physical space. Your room, your desk, your car. Is it clean, organized? Is it energizing or draining? The clearer your space, the clearer your mind. Order on the outside creates focus on the inside. Next, look at your digital space. Your phone, your laptop, your apps. Is your screen filled with distractions? Does your feed feed your purpose or your fears? Clean it up. Curate what you allow into your mental world. Then take a hard look at your social circle. Are the people around you lighting your fire or smothering it? Do they encourage your vision or roll their eyes? You don't need to cut people off cold, but you do need to control access to your energy. Proximity is power. And finally, cultivate an inner environmenta, mindset, and emotional space that supports growth. Fill your thoughts with gratitude, optimism, and belief. Protect your peace. Stop arguing for your limitations. You don't have time for that anymore. This is about ownership. You're not a victim of your environment, you're the architect of it. And here's what's beautiful. Once you upgrade your environment, everything else starts to shift. Focus becomes easier. Discipline feels natural. You begin to attract people and opportunities that resonate with your new standard. It's no coincidence. When your environment reflects your vision becomes inevitable. So don't just chase your dream, create the world it can thrive in. Shape your space, your circle, and your habits to match the future you've chosen. Make your environment an ally, not an anchor. Because when you combine a definite chief aim with a supportive environment, you don't just make progress. You create momentum. And momentum changes everything. We've built the foundation, a clear aim, burning desire, focused thought, time control, and an empowering environment. But now we arrive at the invisible force that determines whether it all works or falls apart: faith. Not religious faith, though for many that plays a role. I'm talking about faith in yourself, faith in your goal, and faith in the process. Let me make this crystal clear. If you do not believe you can achieve your chief aim, you will not achieve it, period. Because even with perfect plans, you won't follow through without belief. Even with talent, you'll sabotage yourself if you secretly think, this isn't for me. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Now here's the good news. Faith is not something you're born with, it's something you build. And how do you build it? The same way you build a muscle, through repetition, effort, and proof. You plant the seed of belief and water it with action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your faith grows. Every time you push through resistance, your faith grows. Every time you visualize your goal and speak it with conviction, your faith grows. And every time you see a result, even a small one, it becomes evidence that you're on the right path. But here's the trap. Most people wait for evidence before they believe. They say, I'll believe it when I see it. That mindset will keep you stuck forever. Winners flip that. They say, I'll see it when I believe it. Faith comes first. Evidence follows. Think of the great inventors, the entrepreneurs, the pioneers. Do you think Edison had evidence the light bulb would work? No. He had faith, and he acted on it thousands of times until reality caught up to his belief. Think of every champion, every record breaker, every visionary. They all had moments when the world said, that's impossible. But they pressed on not because they had proof, but because they had faith. So let me ask you, do you believe in your aim? Not just casually, not just when it's easy. Do you believe in it when it gets hard? When no one else sees the vision? When it feels like nothing is working? That's the real test. If your answer is yes, good. Then double down. Keep moving. Let your belief carry you when motivation fades. If your answer is no, then let's fix that. Repeat your chief aim every day. Visualize it. Speak it like a fact. Surround yourself with stories of others who've done the impossible. Prove to your subconscious mind that belief isn't crazy, it's required. Because once your mind is convinced, your reality doesn't stand a chance. And remember, faith isn't about never feeling fear, it's about acting anyway. You'll doubt, you'll worry, that's human. But if your faith is stronger than your fear, you'll keep moving, and that's all that matters. So build your belief daily, protect it, strengthen it. Because when faith meets focus and desire meets discipline, that's when miracles happen. Now that your belief is anchored by faith, It's time to bring in the force that carries your chief aim from vision to reality: persistence. Let's not sugarcoat it. No matter how clear your aim, how deep your desire, how aligned your environment, you will be tested. Obstacles will come, delays will frustrate you, doubts will whisper, people will misunderstand you. And the question will arise again and again: will you keep going? That's where persistence comes in, not as a trait you're born with, but as a choice you make daily. Let me remind you of this eternal truth: the man who keeps going wins. Not the smartest, not the most talented, the one who simply refuses to quit. Every person you admire, every great success story you've ever heard, they all walked through long stretches where nothing seemed to work. Edison failed thousands of times before the light bulb. Ford was laughed at for trying to create a gasoline-powered car. Colonel Sanders got over 1-0 rejections before someone agreed to sell his chicken. But they kept going. Why? Because they were anchored to a definite chief aim, and persistence was the price they were willing to pay. Now here's the truth about persistence. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It often looks like quiet, unseen effort. The world doesn't cheer for the 97th attempt, but the 98th? The 99th? Suddenly, you're a breakthrough. That's the illusion of success. From the outside, it looks like an explosion, but on the inside, it was all persistence. So how do you develop this quality? You build it by refusing to negotiate with your excuses. You build it by showing up, especially on the days you don't feel like it. You build it by remembering why you started and deciding every single day that your goal is worth it. And yes, you will fail. You'll make mistakes. You'll fall flat. But that's not the end. It's the tuition you pay for greatness. Every setback is feedback. Every misstep is a lesson. And every hard moment is preparing you for the strength your dream will require. Let me give you a simple rule. One more. Do one more repetition. Make one more call. Write one more page. Take one more step. Because the next one might be the one, and if it's not, then the one after that will be. Persistence is what separates the wishful thinker from the achiever. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's the ability to keep going when most people would have already quit. So when you feel tired, when the path looks too long, when you wonder if it's working, remember this: you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next step. And if you keep taking that step again and again and again, then it's not if you'll reach your aim, it's when. So dig in, lock in, persist, because persistence, my friend, is the companion of purpose. And when the two walk together, nothing can stop them. We've talked about clarity, desire, faith, and persistence, but now it's time to unlock the hidden lever behind it all: autosuggestion. This may sound technical or mysterious, but it's actually simple, and it's working in your life already, whether you realize it or not. Autosuggestion is the process by which your dominant thoughts, repeated with emotion, shape your beliefs, behaviors, and results. In plain English, you become what you consistently tell yourself. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant, whether it's faith or fear, success or self-doubt, it begins to grow. And autosuggestion is the act of planting with intention. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to be a genius or a mystic to use this. You're already doing it. Every time you say, "I'm terrible with money," or "I'll never be successful," or "I'm just not that type of person," that's autosuggestion. You're training your subconscious to believe it, and your actions will follow that belief. But flip the script, and that same force becomes your greatest ally. Start saying things like, "I am laser focused on my chief aim. I persist no matter what. I am attracting the right people and opportunities every day. I always find a way." At first, your conscious mind might push back. It may say, "That's not true. That's okay." You're not trying to convince your conscious mind. You're reprogramming the subconscious, the silent pilot of your behavior. How do you do that? Through repetition, emotion, and daily discipline. Say your chief aim aloud every morning and night, not like a robot, but with feeling, with conviction, with a spark in your voice. Let your words carry weight. Write it down, read it out loud, record it, and listen back. Let it become a drumbeat in your mind. Some days you'll feel like a fraud. Say it anyway. Some days, the evidence won't match the affirmation. Say it louder. Because here's the truth. Your mind doesn't respond to what's real, it responds to what's repeated. And what's repeated becomes real. This is the same method used by champions, CEOs, top performers in every field. They don't leave their self-talk to chance, they train it. They build belief until their mind, body, and emotions fall in line. Remember, you're not trying to lie to yourself. You're calling forward the version of you that already exists, waiting to be activated. So let me ask you, what are you telling yourself daily? Is it aligned with your definite chief aim? Or are you unknowingly reinforcing the very limits you're trying to escape? Starting today, take control of your inner dialogue. Speak life into your dream. Shape your identity on purpose. Because once your subconscious is convinced, you'll act in ways you never imagined. You'll take bolder risks, make sharper decisions, and attract bigger opportunities. That's not magic, that's mental mastery. And it's yours if you claim it, repeat it, and reinforce it every single day. The world won't believe in your dream until you do. And belief begins with the words you speak to yourself. Now, my friend, we come to the final and most powerful step, living your chief aim. Not just dreaming about it, not just journaling, planning, or visualizing. I mean living it, breathing it, becoming it. Because success doesn't come to the man who waits, it comes to the one who steps into the identity of the person required to achieve the dream before the dream arrives. Let me say that again. You don't get the goal and then become the person. You become the person and then the goal shows up. So ask yourself right now, how does the version of you who already achieved your definite chief aim think? How do they act? How do they speak, move, plan, and make decisions? Start doing that now. You see, your definite chief aim is not some distant fantasy. It's a command, a contract, a future that will happen if you live in alignment with it, day in and day out. But this requires more than effort. It requires identity shift. You stop acting like someone trying to make it and start behaving like someone who already has. You walk with purpose. You speak with confidence. You make bold, clear decisions. You protect your time, your energy, your focus. You don't just say you want success, you become the embodiment of it, and people will notice. Opportunities will notice. The world begins to organize itself around the energy you radiate. This is the ultimate power of a definite chief aim. It transforms you. It gives your life structure, direction, and meaning. It eliminates confusion. It sharpens your choices. It gives you a reason to say no to the trivial and yes to the essential. And here's the part nobody tells you. Once you achieve your aim, you'll set another and another, because you're no longer just chasing goals. You're becoming someone with purpose, with vision, with impact. So as we close this chapter, let me leave you with this. Your aim is not a fantasy. It's not a nice to have. It's the reason you're here. Write it, read it, repeat it, act on it, live it, and never let the world convince you that your vision is too much. It's not. It's just waiting for you to match it with belief, discipline, and daily commitment. You've got the tools. You've got the fire. You've got the path. Now walk it. Live your chief aim so powerfully that the world has no choice but to make room for it.